See if I lift up my glass, so everybody can see it. Great. And then back up just so it's
Good. So, hello everybody. I'm not sure if the video feed is on yet, but I am just going to see that the sound is good and that everybody can hear, and I'll just be waiting to see that that's okay. Sometimes we need to wait for the video feed to show up precisely on 8:30.
Mark, do I need to share screen or anything, or you're looking after all that?
Nope, absolutely. We are all good. So you just as we are. Okay, saying a few words. See how the sound is.
I should say a few words. I shall continue whittering on about these wonderful wines.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm surrounded by maps. I'm looking at maps of Sauternes and Barsac. I've got my big map behind me. We have the map that you have on the PowerPoint. So we won't lack for direction and positioning of these wines.
Good. Yeah, definitely. We should look at the maps as we go along. I'm just hanging on to hear how everyone can hear.
And you can see I have this gorgeous map. I don't have just have Sauternes and Barsac, a menu that I bought that you can every single chateau is indicated on it, so it's very precise. But I don't have that for Lupiac or Saint Croix or Cadillac. But one day. So how many people? About 30-something people.
Yeah, I think so. I think as people trickle in, we'll have. Okay, nobody is hearing sound. Okay, so I need to see if there's a reason for that. Hello. Maybe it's just very light. Is that better?
Are you talking to me? I can hear you very clearly.
Okay, good. Let's see if maybe the audience can hear a little bit better now. Is that better, everyone? See if that is better. If people can hear, please do let us know.
Do I see Mark on my screen anywhere in terms of how many people signing in or anything like that? A little red heart that's pumping away. I have no idea what that means.
I think that's a Skype thing. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. This is a stellar tasting that we've got lined up with the Golden Bordeaux appellations. These wines are very special, and I think it's a perfect way to kick off the holiday season to be tasting through them. I want to make sure that everyone gets a good chance to ask their questions. Please do make this, if this is your first time or if you're a veteran, make this an interactive session, ask your questions. We want to make sure that all of your questions are answered. That's usually the most fun part. Throughout the tasting, feel free to share your notes down in the chat and also on social media with hashtag #GoGoldenBordeaux. So I have a very special guest with me here today. Mary Gorman McAdams, Master of Wine, is here to help us learn more about these delightful wines. She sat down with me about a year ago to go through these once, and I haven't learned that much in an hour of time in a long time. So I think we're up for a treat. Mary, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to folks on the audience?
Absolutely. Hi, good evening, everybody. I wish I could see everybody, but hopefully you are, like me, surrounded by a selection of wonderful wines. It's a super pleasure to be here this evening, and thank you very much for taking time out of your busy evening or afternoon, depending on where you are, to taste and chat about these wines. I think we're going to have fun. As Mark said, yes, I'm a Master of Wine, and I also have been working with Bordeaux for the last 5 years. And I think a large part of that has been in trying to initiate and engage our conversations, and they basically expanding the perception of what Bordeaux means beyond wonderful, age-worthy, expensive red wine. And I think this evening we're surrounded by a group of wonderful wines that are part of the full picture of Bordeaux. And these wines I've forever had, forever since I knew about them and was of drinking age, had a very special soft spot for these wines. For me, I think they're really a part of the heritage that is Bordeaux. And some of you may know, some of you may not, that up until the end of the 1950s, the plantings of white varieties in Bordeaux was much larger than red varieties, in fact. And a lot of those varieties went to make these great sweet wines. Yes, there was some simple, dry white made back then that was either local consumption or used for central distillation. But a lot of the white was for these great sweet wines. So in many ways, the heritage of sweet wine in Bordeaux really predates that of red wine. I think they're also so special because if you've ever have traveled to any of these areas, the passion that you see in the eyes of the wine growers who are making these late harvest golden wines is quite incredible, particularly when you think of the small quantities that are produced, and also that for a lot of people consuming Bordeaux, they don't necessarily think of drinking these wines. And something I want to share with you before we start was a comment that Vincent Labergère, who's the technical director of Chateau Vigneault, said to me on a visit one time. He said to me, Mary, our goal is not to make a sweet wine. Our goal is to make a beautifully complex, layered, rich, late harvest wines from grapes that have been attacked by noble rot. And it's just a consequence that they end up being sweet. So I think it really sort of helped me change how I view these wines. It's really about the complexity, it's about the layering, it's about that wonderful, deliciousness that's in the wines. And I hope that as we go through these wines, that you might share some of my love for these wines. They are still relatively, small in proportion to all of the other wines that are produced. In terms of vineyard area, the vineyard area that is dedicated to the production of these golden wines represents about 3% of the entire vineyard area in Bordeaux, but only 1% of the actual volume produced. And I think you may also have heard the expression in Bordeaux that, particularly talking about the Medoc, that in the Medoc it takes a vine to make a bottle of wine. In Sauternes, it takes a vine to make a glass of wine. So I thought that sort of conveys the yield and the labor and the small amount of wine is made from each vine.
Yeah, it's certainly a labor of love, and I think one of the things we want to make sure that we highlight here, and a theme throughout the tasting, is that these wines are more versatile than I think we give them credit for, and so your snack packs are meant to really highlight that. So make sure that you dive into some of those lovely snacks as we taste the delicious wines, and have some fun with it. That's what this should be about.
And I think, on that mark, it's one reason we're not really, and actually the producers are not really interested. And I think some of them get quite sort of annoyed if you say, well, what is the level of sugar in these wines? It's because it's really not about that. It's about balance. And I think, as you said, that when you taste these wines with diverse flavors, particularly anything salty, anything fatty, anything spicy, anything rich and creamy, you forget about that sort of consequential sweetness, and you really see you really kind of experience the pairing and the brightness and the freshness and very delicious flavors in the wines.
One of the things I'm looking forward to getting into here is pairings as well. So hopefully we can have a good part of that discussion. So I'm going to pause right here and see if maybe I heard maybe there might be one or two little glitches with the sound. And let's see. 1 sec. I'm going to start streaming again. We'll see how that does it.
And is the